Pro-Plan demonstrators battling it out in the streets of Turkey. As Suzanne said, this started as a protest against plans to demolish a park in the city. In Istanbul, it has grown into something much, much bigger.
In Ankara today, police, you see, blasted protesters with water cannons, fired tear gas at them as well. In Istanbul, cars are driving through streets littered with pieces of metal and other debris from demonstrations last night. And Turkey's interior minister is urging protesters to stop the demonstrations as people head back to work today.
Yeah, those protesters, they show no signs of backing down. They're not going home, and they're turning their anger against the Prime Minister and the government that he is running.
Ivan Watson is joining us from Istanbul. And Ivan, first of all, the protesters originally said this is about freedom of speech. They say this is heavy-handed government. Have we seen this before? It looks like Ivan Watson, we're still trying to get a connection with him.
Suzanne, it's a little bit difficult to hear you because of the technology's acting up right now. If you can see us.
We got you, Ivan. Go ahead.
If you can see and hear me right now, we're in Gezi Park. That's the place where this protest first started. And in a series of days that have been never seen before moments in Turkey, in Istanbul, this is another one of them, because I would estimate there are thousands and thousands of people in this park in what is pretty much a joyous gathering. There's music playing, people picnicking, and all of this in defiance of the Turkish Prime Minister, who has called the protesters who have criticized him extremists and members of marginal groups. Instead, we see a lot of students, we see some families, we see middle-aged people, a lot of women as well. They seem determined to show that they are not marginal groups, that they are not extremists. They are Turkish citizens, and they want their Prime Minister to listen to them. Suzanne?
And Ivan, of course, this has all become far more than this park protest, as we said. There now are people that are worried that the government is turning away from the secular nature of what Turkey has become. And this is the Prime Minister who's been an important ally for the West as well. What is the Prime Minister saying about these criticisms? All right, we've lost Ivan. Apparently, he's out there in the thick of things, and you know, that is one of the things that the people are worried about there, and that is that the government is moving away from the secular nature, cracking down on bans on alcohol in some areas, bans on kissing in public, that sort of thing, and that's not something Turkey has been since the days of Ataturk.
And Turkey is such an important ally to the United States, predominantly Muslim country, really at the heart of the region. It's going to be very important to see what happens there. Granted, the Obama administration really paying very close attention to those street protests.
Absolutely, and what we were going to see there, and Ivan was going to tell us about, the Prime Minister, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, he's gone away on a trip at the moment. Before he did, he blamed, you know, criminals and extremists elements, and basically putting all the blame on those demonstrators who initially were very peaceful, and it was a hard-handed police action that really got things underway, and there was retaliation, and of course it's been kicking off in Ankara as well.
And not to mention the close nature to Syria. It used to be allies, Turkey and Syria. Now Turkey turning against Syria, and you've got thousands and thousands of those Syrian refugees spilling into Turkey. So the real danger there is whether or not this is going to be drawn into some sort of regional conflict as well. And Syria advising its residents not to travel to Turkey because of the protests that are there.
How's that for irony, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah. When you think about it, because you got this bloody civil war raging in Syria, killing about 80,000 people, and the countries, of course, being allies before. But just the last 2 years, this has changed everything. It was just yesterday, Syria's foreign minister suggested that the Turkish Prime Minister step down.
Yeah, the irony of Syria wanting its citizens not to travel to Turkey, goodness me. Well, the Olympians